Good morning, folks. Welcome back. Thursday morning. It feels like Groundhog Day, doesn't it? Market is just not moving right now. We are stuck in the range while we build liquidity. So this is the third day here, second inside day so far. As always, let's go over the charts. Starting with the top-down analysis, we can see what we're looking at. So daily chart, as we talked about, Bollinger Bands starting to open up and expand, allowing a squeeze from this point where we started to get tight. It's allowing a squeeze up or a squeeze down. I mean, both ways possible here. Clear drive right now is to try and take out this right here, right? These all-time highs. Remember, the SPY and the QQQ and the ES have all taken this out. This is the divergence currently in the market. NQ has not taken that out. Every other market has. We are nicely holding the 5-day, all right, you'll notice from here, 5-day, top Bollinger, 5-day, top Bollinger, 5-day, top Bollinger, 5-day, top Bollinger, over and over again. This is very, very normal and healthy. If at some point it needs to do a mean reversion, where's it going to come to? 20-day. Where's that 20-day? Breakout point, retest down, soak. This would be an RBS level. So I am prepared for it to come here and remain bullish to get up there like we talked about. I would have preferred that earlier this week we did it. If these two bars were drip down bars, then I'd be thinking Thursday, Friday reversal back up, but we didn't get that. All right, so I'm watching these same key levels, sort of 22,100. All right, this pivot here from these highs, which we've been holding. If we let go of that, we've got this imbalance here on the daily. We can think about 21, sort of 960s, and then 850s down here if we start to roll. Big, big if. Moving to the day, to the hourly, sorry, to get a few more clues here. I just want you to focus on this chart here. You will see we're building that wedge. All right, so we got higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, high, lower high, lower high, lower high, potential lower high. This is what creates liquidity. This is where so many traders lose everything, right? Because we rotate back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and then we're either going to get a breakout, or we're going to get a failed breakout, or we're going to get a breakout, or we're going to get a failed breakout, right? And it's at that point, those of you who have studied understand that it's these points here where you get potential springs, right? The traps to go the other way, or the spring to go the other way. If we start breaking out of here, though, and sustaining bids, it's very likely then that we auction up to all-time highs, because there's one set of shorts, 2, 3, 4 sets in the market. Same with the dip buys, though. 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of buys in the market, right? We'd have to come all the way down there to liquidate the market. So this is basically your balance range, and most of this balance range is from sort of 150 up to 300. Right, so a lot of liquidity being built in here. This is just messy in here. This is where you get yourself in trouble. You have to be cautious trading inside this balanced range, right? We trade the edges and we trade from one level to the next. Just like yesterday. Where do we go? Yesterday's open. We dipped down, held the trend, didn't even quite get into this zone. Held this, right? Big wick down here. Traded upside, drove what? To the other side of liquidity. Failed up there, came all the way back down and all the way back inside overnight. All right, so we're just building liquidity. The overall market is bullish. I'm going to remind you of that. All right, the overall market, the daily, the weekly, etc., is bullish. What we're doing right now is trying to build some form of liquidity up here to trap shorts and allow buyers to come in and slingshot us all the way up to this top level. Sorry, let's make sure you can see all that. That's what the market's looking to do right now. Moving down into this 5-minute, and we can have a look at what we've done overnight. All right, so previous day close, we created tons of liquidity up here. We had some strong selling towards the close. All right, that timed out very, very well with the selling that started taking place on SMCI and on Palantir. All right, Palantir was some insider selling, less government contracts coming, dumped, helped the market just rotate. It wasn't a big dump in the market. We've just rotated back to demand, all right? Back to the level that buyers have been in the last few days. Here's sellers, here's buyers. So what don't we want to do today? We don't really want to trade in here, do we? All right, because this is 50% between the two ranges. All right, so overnight, what have we done? Asia traders took control and they drifted us down to demand, right? Like a little bouncing ball. London traders liquidated any buyers who were trying to hold the lows, all right, and then bid us back up. And now we're trying to take out the Asia high, very much like here, all right? So it's the same thing. This is a rotation, right? And it might come and do that move there, which would be nice. But really what I'm trying to say is that there's not a big trend play in this market right now, right? You have to understand market conditions. We are not in a big trending market right now. That can change. Of course, that can change. But the main conditions we are in is in a liquidity building, rotating market. If we just take this off, let's take the flow zones off, zoom out for a second, right? We are just trading the edges from zone to zone. We have failed under here and we have failed above here. All right, and we've been in here for about a week now. All right, most of the liquidity, if you ignore the edges, is in here. All right, this is a big range designed to build liquidity. What you do not want to do is getting short in the bottom of the range. You need clear breakdowns for us to get short. Same for the bulls, all right? We want clear breakouts and retests. Do not get chopped up in this range. Very, very easy to do that, all right? So preserve your capital. Easier markets will come. If you're a good range trader, you should be having great fun in this, all right? You should be having great fun in this. But better markets will come for sure. Oh, we've got the old glitch already this morning. See if that fixes it. There we go. Let's have a look at some of the breadth then. VIX still trading sideways, very much like the rest of the market. 1550s trading sideways in the range. We've just closed the gap, not the cash gap, but we did close the 5 o'clock close, which is right here to have on my other screen, and we're finding some sellers into that right now. Let's have a look at some of the mag then, because we've got a mixed bag here. Apple, what have we got going on here? Apple with a gap down, trading back towards its lows from yesterday. Microsoft had a big pop at the open, like a 5-point pop in pre-market, and has given that all back. Closed the gap already, right back to yesterday's close. Amazon and a nice drive at the end of play yesterday has given all of that back, coming back inside the range towards the lows of yesterday again. So repeatable pattern here. We're trading towards the lows of yesterday. Google trading sideways, just inside yesterday's range. It looks a little bit stronger here, Google, if I'm honest. It might be able to hold. If it can hold that range and not roll over, it looks a bit better. But again, trading into yesterday's range. Meta continues its sell-off. Remember, Meta has had a monstrous push, all right, an absolute huge push up to 740. We are in a sell cycle now, or a pullback cycle in Meta, giving quite a lot back. All right, so I'd say it's starting to come into some key levels. We're at the 20-day right now at Meta. All right, maybe just a couple more points. We've got to trade down to 93s for Meta to get their 20-day. If under there, it looks like some solid demand into sort of 675, but this sort of 700-ish level is going to be key on Meta. Nvidia showing a little bit of strength here. All right, still trading inside this week's range, still inside yesterday's range, but it's sold off in the after hours and it's starting to drive back up towards previous day high here on Nvidia. And Tesla, big drive yesterday, just creating a big old bull flag here, seeing if it can hold its gains. It's going to have to hold above 57, 58s really, 55s at worst. If it starts letting go of 58s, then it can roll over a little bit. But yeah, complete mixed bag, all right, unsurprisingly. Other things we need to consider is news today. We do have some news events. We've got 2 minutes until the open. Let me just get up a reminder of what the news is. So we have Gooseball talking 9:35. We have US leading economic indicators at 10 o'clock. Not a big one there. Vice Chair for Supervision, Michael Barr, 2:30. And Kugler after the hours at 5 o'clock. We also have some bond auctions, I believe, coming at 11:30 and 12 o'clock. So just be aware of those. Those have been a bit whippy in the market more recently. And that's it. Remember, we're bullish overall. Overall sentiment is bullish. It's just finding a way to try and get involved in this. The first low-hanging fruit today is going to be that drive into the Asia high. I would say basically 2:30 and the previous day point of control up here into 240. How we at there is going to be key. All right. Overall, we are bullish, but we can very, very easily break down. Remember, we're just rotating. Overall, in the dailies and the weeklies, we are bullish, but I really want to see a breakout and go for me to feel very, very confident about going up to that next level. Or a failed breakdown, a bit like yesterday. If we can get a failed breakdown down here, this kind of play where they fail to break the lows and they trap sellers, another bullish play I'd be interested in. Otherwise, I'm just going to be hands off here at the open. Let it rotate, let it do what it wants. Not in a huge hurry. Let's get through some good mornings. How long we got? 30 seconds until the open. Good morning, Clint, Glenn, Jeff, Noah, Miguel, Christy, Leron, Indicator, Stephen W, Peter, Cat, Marek, Vince, TR, Array, BU, Andrew, Blake, Minix, and Steve. Good morning, everyone. Make sure you've gone through your checklist. Morning, Thumper. Make sure you've gone through your checklist. Are you in the right frame of mind to trade? Have you had your coffee? Have you had a drink? Have you eaten? Have you slept well? Have you had an argument with someone or a disagreement? If that's the case, probably shouldn't be trading. If you're feeling emotional, should not be trading, right? Have your plan laid out. I'm looking for rotations until it becomes clear and obvious. That's a nice dip and hold so far at the open into that last VWAP and algo here. So not taking anything, just going to wait, let this shake out for a moment, and we'll go from there. Liquidity on the book, let's have a look. Some buyers down into 150s, 180s. I mean, there's nothing thick on this tape. 250, sellers up there, biggest order on the book up there at 250, but really slim pickings again today at the open, right? We're opening between previous day close, previous day point of control, and VWAP. It's feeling choppy already. It's telling me it's going to chop around already. So much like yesterday, if we get a nice play, we're going to lock in some profits and let a runner work if it will work. But definitely more in scalp mentality today. Have a look at the Mag 7. Apple 0.5% up. Microsoft trying to go red to green. Amazon about 1% down. Google 1/3% down. Meta 1% down. Nvidia 0.5% up. Tesla trying to go red to green as well. So it's a bit of a fight here across the market. Bit of a fight here. Do me a favor, smash that like button nice and early. Let's see what we get. Love to get a rotation back towards those highs, but really the easiest way to get there will be if we trap somewhere first. All right, so range on the day, just 25 points so far in the opening, almost 2 minutes here. So we're going to be nice and patient, not in a hurry right now. Jeff, is there a gap near? Yeah, this one right here. This is the cash gap. Relatively small. This is the cash gap. This is where we closed at 4 o'clock. Where we closed at 5 o'clock was right here. All right, so the gap based on just the daily bar is there, but the cash gap for the ETFs is up here. All right, so technically you could argue it's a gap and go, but we've built liquidity to the upside so far. Remember, so we've gapped down and we're trying to do this so far until it starts to break down and come under here. Not really interested in a short into levels where I know we've soaked for the last 2 or 3 sessions at least. So just a choppy open as expected. This is not prime market conditions right now. The nicest market conditions are when we get a nice trending market. Trading back towards VWAP right now. Remember, demand underneath. If we're going to take out London low, we're going to come down to 22,140. Have a little look at the ES as well and the SPY. They're doing the same things. No big divergence in the market. They're trading in and around the VWAP also. Just range rotation. Just one of those things. This is what happens when we need to build liquidity. If we're going to wash today and go for that deeper drive, that would be a bit of fun, but find it a harder trade to take. Remember, we've got Gooseball talking in the next few minutes. All right, market trading underneath VWAP now, in towards that demand level. If it's going to get really weak here, it will want to try and take out 73 and then 42s. But remember, this is demand, right? This is a demand level. This is where we've been the last few days. It has not liked letting go of this violently yet. All right, the lowest we've gone really was yesterday. We washed down to the next level into 100s. So if we're going to go for previous day low, that is possible. We're going to need to see some pops and drops here if we're going to do that, because we are already in demand, right? This is where they want to soak. They've shown their hand doing that over and over again. If we drive up here and start rejecting VWAP, we can think about potentially a wash down to take out those overnight lows. But it's very, very high risk here because we are in demand. We are in that range rotation. And you've got Gooseby about to talk. Look at the tape. Still a bit of a mixed bag. Most of the mag's starting to go red here, but these are the key levels. Remember, these are the key levels here. If we start to wash, we're thinking about that trade if we can get in down towards 40. If pops start to fail here, we can think about that trade down towards 40. And then under that previous day low. We need a drive and a fail here rather than straight selling. Needs to see some form of push up and fail. Remember, Gooseby talking now. I don't know how long he's talking for either, if anyone knows that. Not sure. So finding some bids here in the blue box in demand. See how we act here into VWAP. Do we reclaim VWAP in this area? If we stay heavy here, we can think about that rotation down towards here. If we reclaim this, then buyers are going to hold and we're going to go all the way back up, right? So it's the same thing over and over again. Very early in the day to be thinking about this, especially with someone talking. Just increases the risk. But you could be looking for a fade versus VWAP here if you're thinking it's going to go to 40s. It's not ideal with a Fed talker either, you know. We saw what happened yesterday. We had some of those spikes for out of nowhere. And we're still in range rotation, so you would be shorting near demand, which is not ideal either. But if it's going to show its hand to do that, that's another thing. Here's VWAP. If they've just dipped down to soak demand and they start reclaiming, you have to watch the liquidity that's being built up here. And then if we can get outside of range all the way up into this. Those are the two plays. We either reject somewhere around here for a continuation, or we reclaim and we're going to go high. Very early in the day, remember, you're only 6 minutes in. You have a Fed talker right now. He could say absolutely anything. Morning trend trees, morning mindful matters. Again, I'm just letting this shake out. Let it build whatever it's going to do, and we go from there. Complete mixed bag on the mag now. Apple 0.5% up, Microsoft just about red, trying to go red to green here. Amazon 1% down, Google 0.41% down, Meta flat, Nvidia 0.33% up, Tesla 1.3% down. Complete mixed bag yet again. Treasuries are all red. Let's have a look. Dixie is trying to drift lower and potentially close a gap. The VIX. Dixie also red. So finding some sellers here where we broke down from. If it can hold bids through this and get up here, it's going to maybe cause another short squeeze. If we reject and come down here, I expect us to take out 40s. It's big levels here for early on in the day for it to make its decision. Does this market need a bit more of a breather and to go down lower? And then do we trap shorts lower? Or are we going to sell all the way down towards 959s today? We are in a big old wedge. If you look at the hourly and the daily, we're building a sort of wedge up here. So it's tricky patterns to trade, wedges. They're rotational patterns. I think yesterday was one of my smallest profit days of the year, and for good reason, because the setups for me in the morning weren't there. There were some nice setups in the afternoon. I think lots of guys in the Discord got some really nice setups. They're starting to try and reclaim VWAP here. ES not there yet. Relative weakness on the ES, right? ES is well away from its VWAP right now. Looking like it wants to break down on the SPY a little bit. If we keep getting stuck here, happy to think about looking at that flush down to 70s if we keep getting stuck. Keep getting stuck at VWAP. You got to be careful though, because we're shorting by demand, that blue box. But if it's going to get weak and start rotating down towards 70s, there is a trade there towards previous day low. If it's going to keep holding, then shorts are going to get stuck, and we're going to go all the way back up to the current highs on the session. Right, so ES trying to find a bid here to drive back up towards VWAP. This is what we're talking about. Very, very, very tough. Think about taking a trade here, but there are two setups. Either we hold flow zones for that bear flag down, or we reclaim and we create that inverse head and shoulder, and we start to put on a squeeze from the demand level. Right, this kind of move here, and we try and get to here, and then if we get above that, we're back into supply. If we reject here, then potentially break of structure here will take us down into these levels. Right. Very early in the session to be talking about this. It's a very, very small range so far. You have 53 points of range, but those are the setups. ES coming back towards VWAP now. NQ trying to find a bid off that blue box, off demand. Remember, the higher time frame, most of it is bullish. ES can't get through VWAP there. Didn't even quite make it to tap it. SPY right on it right here, right now. Still lots of like thin liquidity on the book, like sort of spread out. It's kind of ugly. It's not like yesterday where we had those big orders, making it nice and clear where they wanted to absorb and where they wanted to let go. Morning, Coop. Morning, Yulamar. Morning, Mindful Matters. Good morning, everyone. A bit of divergence here. ES definitely looked a little bit weaker. Nvidia green, Meta now green, Microsoft green, Apple green, but Amazon, Google, and Tesla lagging behind. Starting to reclaim here. If ES and SPY start letting go, it might show some weakness into the Qs, possibly. Back to low of day here on the ES and SPY. They look much, much weaker in this session. Much weaker. ES in and around VWAP is going to be key if they soak the bid there. Oh, do you know what we haven't done today yet? I haven't put... Where was our open? Up here. Let's make sure we get this in. Nope. Make sure that's accurate. All right, there's the New York Open. All right, so back towards New York Open. Bit of divergence here between the two markets. All right, SPY, ES look much, much weaker. So reclaiming, held its VWAP. Now the question is, can it do this kind of look in and around here? Remember, flow zones are still flat, but if it can trap enough, it's going to want to drive up towards these, right? Previous day point of control, and then close the gap up here. Big if right now. I would say you'll need the ES to participate as well. All right, if ES is just stuck beneath VWAP, this is the kind of the thing we've had the last few days. You're going to think, oh, this sounds repetitive. It's because it's the market conditions we've been in. All right, ES lags behind, can't get through VWAP, stops SPY and NQ really getting going, and then we chop for like hours and hours and hours and hours. I normally get off stream, and then probably half an hour to an hour after I'm off stream, it starts moving. So that has been the condition the last week. ES and SPY do not look strong here. I'm telling you, they do not look strong. Mag 7 trying to hold the market up. Sounds like I have a sports car in my training room. Was there a loud car that went past? Sorry. I didn't even notice. Here goes ES, fresh lower day. More chop. The chop continues. Remember the range, the main range. Oh, why is that moved? It's no good. The main range is from here to here right now. If we break down that, we can think about these guys here. Watching VWAP here closely. SPY now letting go. This is what we're talking about. Is this now the trap, or are they going to just really let this go aggressively? Starting to trade this for downside now. Oh, I can't move my orders. That's fun, isn't it? There we go. So in very small size here, just to see if we're going to get that breakdown now that SPY is letting go. Not adding to anything here, just in case SPY is going to find a bid here and pull us back upside. So looking for this breakdown in from VWAP for the bear flag, seeing if we can break new lows. We need a break of structure here and a wash down towards 120 ideally. 140 would be the first stop, and then 120. So here comes the bear flag. SPY very, very weak. Looking good here, team. I really don't want to pull anything off into lower day. I want a snap here and an expansion down towards previous day low. If we can get down to 140s, will be the overnight low. Don't want to see a bid here. I just want to wash. Here we go. Fantastic. You're going to let me move my stop here? Something going on with TradeOvate. Let me move my stop. Trying to trail it down. There we go. That's better. So remember, we're looking for 40 to target one, and then previous day low. Fantastic. Starting to play out here. So we're starting to get that breakdown towards 40T. You can start taking a partial. And we're looking to see if the next bounce fails. Look at the weakness in ES. Big, big difference like we were talking about. Big, big difference in these markets right now. So locking some in there. If we get a bounce that fails, remember we're looking for these levels here. This is the uptrend. This is this white line, right, is your hourly wedge, right? This white line here. This is previous day low. We need this to reject in here if we're going to get down there, if you're going to look for an add. Hopefully that makes sense. There's a big, big kill candle there. Decent volume. Look at the volume that came in. They're trying to absorb it. Remember, we're at the bottom end of the range. We're looking for a trade into 40s if we can get there. Yep, same here, Peter. Exactly the same. Having a little bit of lag here on my system. Not really sure why. If anyone else is experiencing that on TradeOvate and Ninja, it's fine. I've locked in, but it's I'm trying to move my stop, and it's taking a long time when I'm moving my levels around for my limits. It's never fun. Maybe just the increase in volatility. Would like to have a pop and drop here, new bear flag, a new way of getting short to add into it. Yeah, I'm having issues here. I don't know if anyone else is experiencing that. Still think we can get to previous day low here. It's looking weak. 50 is a big level, clearly. Psychological level. On the tape, buys into 40 and then 25s. Which would make sense. All right, that's where we're looking to get to. Can we get down lower? Yeah, Ninja's lagging. All right, it's not just me. What a nightmare. What a nightmare. In a beautiful trade and we're getting lag. Here we go. Fantastic. Come on, Ninja. Stop it. Come on. You're going to make this so hard for me. I'm going to end up locking in money because I can't get my stop to move. And we're looking for previous day low, ideally. 40s is what we're tapping on now. This white line, right? We've just taken out London low. This white line is the H1 trend. I'm just going to remind you what that is. This white line is this wedge, right, that we've put in. So we need to respect this. If we break down under here, we get that next move down. I'm having to lock in here, guys. It's really annoying, but it's just I'm getting so much lag that I cannot move my stop, and that means I'm going to have to lock in because I don't want to give back. What's this now, like almost 50 points? So I'll look for a re-entry, but locking in some nice money there, 50 points. Yeah, a few of you having it. Array's having lag, Peter having lag. It's not just me. What a pain, but hey, it's a good trade. At least we're lagging while we're in the money, eh? At least we're lagging while we're in the money. I still think we can move lower here. It's just unfortunate. If I can't, I was I was in from here, this breakdown, once ES started letting go aggressively. I could not move my stop from here down here. It just would not let me do it. So I've had to close it. Still think, all right, that you have a chance for pops to fail. All right, this is the previous day low target. So if you get a pop to fail, this is the H1 uptrend, then we can trade into here. Still looks good for a move into there. If we start getting weak under there, underneath previous day's low and 250s, then there's a chance to trade into 970s. If we get really weak, all the way back down. But I'd be looking for a trade into 965s if I was allowed to hold a runner, something like that. Ninja Trader was going to stop making it impossible for me to hold. Lovely work, team. Fantastic. Yeah, lovely work. What a nice trade at the open. It's always nice when the market starts to play ball. Once ES let go, that was the clue that this drive was nothing more than fluff. Once ES started to let go, we talked about that divergence we had on the tape, and it started to play out. Beautiful. So hold, if you've still got some in, you should be able to get to here, right? This is where the market wants to go, previous day low. Once we get there, we see what's what. All right, if we're going to go in a big sell day, we can think about trading lower into sort of 20,000 45s, and we're going to think even lower as well. This looks very, very good. Do not be chasing this down. All right, I'm going to remind you, we are still in a range. Zoom out. Let's put this on an hourly. We're still in a range right now. All right, the range is between these. All right, this can be a fail breakdown and a scoop up. All right, we know at some point down here, maybe buyers are probably going to step back in and do this on a daily. All right, so this is a lovely trade for many, many reasons right now, that we're getting the short down, but also it's going to allow us to buy this back up in the next day or two. I've got to reload this, unfortunately. Has that just lost all my stuff? Okay, there we go. So coming into previous day low, make sure you're locking some in here if you're taking this short. Don't sell it all because you're looking good. If you're able to hold it and you're not trading on Ninja with lag right now, you should still be holding this. Looks very, very, very good. Oh, so annoying. The days it happens and then Ninja does this. Don't go on tilt because of it. That's what I have to tell myself. The frustration is massive when it does this stuff. Oh, it's lost all my drawings now as well. Fantastic. Are you kidding me? Bear with me, team. Everything on again. Should have pressed save, shouldn't I? It's my fault. This to here. This out here. We can do a little box down here. Move this into a 1. Hopefully it doesn't fail again. All right, there we go. All right, PDL taken. Low-hanging fruit gone. If you've got that, fantastic. Hold your runners. You've probably got the best trade of the day already. All right, if you've got that, you've probably got the best trade of the day already. Don't be chasing this. We are not building any structure here right now to allow us to think about taking a continuation trade. Right now, we're in a straight puke out, right? You cannot just be chasing this down. You should be in runners right now. Unfortunately, I'm not, and it's not my fault. I can't do anything when Ninja doesn't want to move a stop. I've got to be risk off. That's just how you've got to trade. We've taken previous day low now on the NQ. ES is not quite there yet. It's getting close though. Right, so there will be profit taking into these areas. These are big, big areas that we're coming into now. Big old areas. Trying to see what's going on here. Still trading weak. It's so, so weak here. Look at this sell. What a beautiful sell. I'm fuming we're not in this. Coming down into the next block so I can get rid of this now. Looking very, very, very good. All right, into 250s. All right, we're going into a daily imbalance, and we're going to look for, if you're still in this, for a trade into 967s on that daily. We're very, very weak. This is the play that I would love for bulls later on, basically. So we're dipping into a daily imbalance now. I'll show you what I mean. All right, this right here, this gap here, this is what we're driving into. Where is the RBS level? Basically, somewhere in here. So I'd say something like this is where the market's trying to drift to. All right, what does that mean? That allows a nice pullback in the market towards the 20-day. 20-day will catch up. All right, and if we can stay down here and buyers can take control, we can use this liquidity next week or whenever to get back to highs. This was the play I was looking for earlier in the week. We're starting to do it now on a Thursday. It looks really good. This is exactly what I'd want to see in a healthy market. Pull back to an RBS level where we have an imbalance, buy it back up for a slingshot back up to there, probably next week. All right, so this is what we were talking about the last few days. Finally, we're starting to do it. Finally, we're starting to do it. Fantastic trade, though, team. And it is what it is, you know. Thanks, Ninja Traders. Funny how it always breaks when it's going to give like a giant 185 puke out. All right, ES now taken previous day low. We're going to think about what next. Still, what next will be a trade into sort of 70s, 970s if possible. So I'm still considering that. What I don't want to do is be trapped as a short seller down here. Yeah, I don't want to be trapped as a short seller down here. I need some form of bounce into here and then to see weakness. Save this now before something. I have to do a reset for some reason. So some relief. So hopefully lots of you got that. How many of you took that short? Did any of you, hopefully some of you didn't have lag and you were able to hold that. But it was a nice setup once it came. Drop me W's in chat if you took that with me. Al Sam Jr., 60 points. BU, out now, great trade. Oh, lots of you nailed that short. 2 W's on the way down, Glenn. Great work, buddy. Coop, my wife walked into the office mid-trade and threw me off my concentration. I closed it and now I'm mad. You need an on-air. Yeah, I know what you mean. Stephen W with a W. Stephen C with a W. Andrew H took it off way too soon. Hey, at least you locked something in, mate. Clint with a W. BU with a W. Jeff with a W. Andrew G. Vince S. Lee Kim. Array. Christy had to close out early. Same as me. It happens sometimes. Yeah, better to do that than try and work through tech issues. Ian Gervin with the W. Leron with the W. Activate. I'm negative minus 800. How are you minus 800? Were you trying to long that? Shouldn't be minus 800 there. So it's looking like it wants to break down to that next level. This is what it wants to do. It wants to drift low. It's just, can we get a way to get involved right now? I'm going to have to just make sure these are all in properly. This is the level down here. This is where it wants to come to, this next zone. It's just, can we get a way of getting involved? I do not want to get trapped at lows. Oh, come on, TradingView. You're killing me. It's just the 1 minute it's struggling with. I'll put it on a 2 minute for a second. ES is building a much better pattern because on the ES, on the 2 minute, it drove back up to previous day low and rejected. But I am not going to chase this at the lows. All right, doesn't mean I'm looking to buy, but I'm not chasing this at lows. We need a drive up to sell into. Need to drive up to sell into. Crawford with the W. Izzy took short on PLTR. No worries, Cap. Happens sometimes. Trentry, I do not take any more trades today. Nice work. No worries, Camille. Great work, team. Well, you all have to click the buttons yourself, you know. You all have to click the buttons yourself. I still think we're going to drift lower. I would love a way to get more involved. This is the problem when we go into cells of rotation and they start breaking down. It was such a nice entry here. And we got to hit, I think we were like here, and Ninja, I had my stop here and it just would not let me move it down. It just kept freezing out on me. So I just ended up closing the trade, unfortunately, but locking $1,000 in, so it's fine. Not a huge deal. SS, you're looking for a bounce. What to short? I mean, you can look for a bounce to short. I would not be look at the momentum, look at the volume. Don't pick the bottoms in this. If this wants to just keep coming, it will just keep coming. Right? Don't pick the bottoms in this. Look for a bounce to short into, I would say. This is just so weak, and I cannot chase this. Remember, our entry was at basically 200. Yeah, 200. We're 200 points lower now. I'm not going to chase this 200 points lower for a short. Should still be in this, unfortunately. There's no reason to cover full position. So partials out and then just hold through weakness. Getting into big levels here soon, though. Remember, those daily levels are coming up. Those wick to wick would be sort of 963-ish. I'm trying to make sure I can see it perfectly. 963-ish. If it gets weaker through that, all the way down to 866. We've moved very aggressively here at the open. Would expect some relief at some point, maybe as we get into 963-ish. So far, it's just so weak. We're in full sell cycle, like Mag 7 getting destroyed. Hard sell off on those. Look at the VIX. VIX was the clue. Now up to 1650, right, up a point. So getting very close to the 960s that we talked about, this blue box. That is your daily. So we've rebalanced that whole daily candle now pretty much. I mean, it can come all the way down to 866 for a full reprice on it. But most of the damage being done on that daily candle from Feb 13th. That's the candle I'm looking at. And we're coming down to go wick to wick. Did we just go wick to wick? We got very close. 70-ish. Zoom, you'll see what I mean if I do a 30-minute. These wicks here, right? This is wick to wick. It's what I'm talking about. This is where buyers will think about, can they start absorbing it if they're repricing. Doesn't mean it has to stop there. It can keep trading through. I have to refresh this again. Are you kidding me? Sorry, team. I can't do much about this right now on TradingView. It's having major issues. So into a big level here on the daily. Big level here on the daily. Look at ES getting very close to its 20-day. Very close to its 20-day on the ES. So sweat that level. Look where we're getting this first green candle. Funny that, isn't it? Understand the higher time frame narrative. This doesn't have to pop very far. This can be absolutely slammed into if they're looking to trade it lower. But I am not going to chase this short. We've had one green candle since, and when's the 10 o'clock coming? We're there now as well on an H4. I need to also be aware of that. Pull back on that H4. Yeah, we've had one green candle in the last 15 minutes or 17 minutes, or maybe two, you could argue this one. We are in straight dump mode right now, so we are expecting some form of pullback at some point. That hourly candle is nasty. Okay, so if we're going to go and test, I'm just going to change some of these levels here. I'm going to have to change some of these. Bear with me a second, because we need to change these into SBR levels now. All right, this can go to red. You'll see how I do all these now. Get rid of you. You snapped. Right, these are levels of interest for us. So if we back test these, we stay heavy here, we come back down. If we stay heavy here, we come back down. If we start reclaiming this, remember, this is a giant flag on the daily to go higher. Just remember that. What we traded today is a pullback leg on the higher time frame. I'm really sorry, guys. This is probably making it like hell for you to watch me reloading this all the time, but I just don't want it to be ugly for you on the charts. So there's the bounce. All right, there's the bounce off the level that we talked about. Overshot it by a couple points, but there's the bounce. So understanding that daily narrative. You must understand the daily narrative. Now you see why I'm always looking at those higher time frames. Miss it. Any thoughts on ES? It's the same kind of thing. SPY has just dripped all the way down to backtest the same level going back to Feb 13th, right? They're all doing the same kind of thing. So we're going to get relief now. This is your pullback. Remember, this can go, if this wants to go all the way back up to new highs, it can. This was the pullback leg. Don't expect it to do that, but you cannot get caught short in low of day. This can go right back up now. All right, flow zones here. We have a RBS level here. We have previous day low here, and we have a level here. What we can do is an anchor off this to show you where buyers came in. We can do a sell off this one. All right, this is average price of sellers from that kill. Do it in here, right into flow zone. So any reprice into that, if we start finding weakness into these levels, we can think about potentially a sell, not just going to short into this chase back up. All right, this is where shorts are getting squeezed out who chased low of day. Remember, this is like it's going to be a weird one, but shorts are technically counter trend on the higher time frame. Shorts are technically counter trend on the higher time frame. On the daily, we're in a pullback on the daily, so we're following the daily, but the short on the daily is technically a counter trend play. All right, so where do we squeeze up to? Where do we found failure points now? Maybe here, maybe up into some of these big levels up here. If it wants to trade all the way back to 141, it can. If it wants to come all the way back up to here, it can quite happily do so. Trying to move all my drawings on Ninja, which isn't fun either. So big relief off those lows. How many points are we off those already? 100 points relief off those lows already. So coming into the anchored view up and the flow zones and a key level here. Big imbalance here. If they let go of these guys, we go for fresh lows. Trying to see if I can get an order in, even in Sim, to see if anything's moving, which it is. Okay, that's a good start. So rejecting that a little bit to start with. It can reprice this and hold. Remember, if it's going to put a bullish structure in, it will need to hold this, but we are in a sell cycle right now, intraday. Starting to fail here. Have to see how it works out into these imbalance levels down here. And you got like some of you would call it a BPR. If it holds this and finds bids, then it will trade up. But this can be the flag to break lower. I would have preferred it came all the way up here. The reason for that being, just based on where the New York Open is to here, we are building flag zone. It is flag territory into that 30%, these red levels. Those have done the course, but I'd rather a trade up here to retest this and then buy it back. That would be the nicer trade. Push up, pull down, and then buy it back. That would be the nicer trade for the rest of the day. We've got nice range today. Are these guys going to get cooked? Remember, this is average price of buyers now in this imbalance off the low. If they're going to get cooked, we go lower. All right, if we get a breaker structure here, we go lower. If that's the bounce just to 30, we go lower. Feel like I missed it a little bit, but hey. Red Don, you caught 50 on the upside, caught 50 points of it. Nice. I mean, it's a risky trade, but like I guess once we put this wick in, trade through this, back up to here made sense, didn't it? like we said, this was a big daily level. It was likely to stop there once you saw that green candle in, break above this high, break above this inversion, if you want to call it that. If they hold this now, honestly, it has a chance to trade upside, but most of the momentum is downside today. But I do think the low-hanging fruit trade, like we keep talking about, that I like to go for every day, the low-hanging fruit trade is gone. Let's go back to the daily, all right? We've taken out previous day low. We've come in to reprice this whole daily. This is the low-hanging fruit. We've done the damage. Easiest trade on the day has gone. It went in the first 30 minutes of the day. Those are your dreamboat sessions, to be honest. Those are the dreamboat sessions where the low-hanging fruit sets up early, you get your trade, and you get off, right? You get off. If you nailed that, you can at least size down now or whatever you want to do. Yeah, we have this level here is going to be key, how we act here, right? This level here. And if we start to hold and create a higher low, it's a big ask. I'm not taking this long. If we start to hold and then do this, possibly, right? If they can't hold this, lower prices are coming. It's very, very hard to think about where we're going to go lower. There is an old gap, but honestly, just looking at the daily, the damage has been done. The damage has been done. Most of you should have nailed that short with me, and now we're waiting. They're desperately trying to hold that imbalance. Those buyers are desperately trying to hold that level. I do not want to short near low of day. All right, I've got no interest. I'd rather they hold this, we get a two-leg pullback back to here, and then it offers a sell back down, and then I'll buy it all the way back. That would be really nice if we can get this move, then this move, and then tomorrow this move. I don't want that final drive higher to be today. I'd rather that comes tomorrow. So already thinking way, way ahead of what I want to see in this market. This sell-off is what we wanted for the last, well, since Monday. So we talked about it on Sunday night in the room. 2-day pullback would have been healthy in the market. We didn't really do it. We gave a 2-day inside bar, right? So we had lots of liquidity stuck in those last 2 days of inside bar. Once we broke down underneath that, every buyer in that was cooked. And now we're coming back down for a retracement. Do I use Ninja Trading Platform with Apex? Yeah, I do. But I use it with Trader8, not with RTrader. I don't like RTrader. I think it's too glitchy for me. So I use Ninja with Trader8. Rob P, thanks for joining. Thanks for joining, team. So if you like what you're learning here, there's tons of free education on my YouTube. If you want to learn more, I have a course available, right? 20-hour on-demand, in-depth course. You get my flow zone indicators with it, right? Everything you see on screen here, right? You get everything with it, and you get access to the Discord. Right? One-time fee, $6.49. So if you want to learn more, if you want to be able to trade like this every single day by yourself, do yourself a favor. Invest in yourself. Do the course. Do the course. It's not some flimsy 2-hour course where I just like teach nonsense. All right. It is an in-depth course. It will require you to invest in yourself, not just financially, but also in terms of time. Have to take time to invest in yourself trading. Those who buy the course and don't bother to do it and just like hop in the room and try and get the indicators, it's not going to help you. You have to develop time. You have to know your strategy. What is your entry model? Where are you exiting? Can you control risk? Where are the traps in the market? So holding right now, isn't it? It's holding this key level that we just talked about, all right? This is where shorts chased it down, trust me. This is why we have this imbalance, all right? Look at the volume coming in. Can we now start to pivot above the anchor view up and all the way up there? That would be nice. I'm going to focus on the shorts. I don't think I'm going to focus on these longs. I'm going to focus on the shorts if and when they show up. All right, I'm expecting relief. We're expecting relief even from this kill. We're expecting some relief up here. Shorts trapped at the low of day. Same thing over and over again, isn't it? Can we get a two-leg pullback after shorts are trapped? And then can smart money come in and sell this thing back down? I change all my levels on NinjaTrader as well. It's the worst thing about trading on different platforms. Make these all red now. Bear with me, team. I'm such a visual trader. I have to have my colors on the chart. It stops me doing stupid things. All right. So if you're like me, my instinct historically has always been to try and look for reversals. That's why I trade with flow zones, which are colored. It's why I trade with some supply and demand boxes, whatever you want to call them, which I color. It's for that exact reason. Don't want to get short near here, right? Very simple. It's why it was there all day. We didn't just put that in. That's been there for days. Everyone know what we're doing then. All right, so this is the average price of sellers. This is the last block. All right, if sellers come back in here, they sell it down. I'd rather a 2 try and then something like this, a second leg higher and then something like this. Back to back test some of these levels would be nice. Maybe it's being greedy for me, but that's what I would really, really like. Low hanging fruit's gone. Just remember that. The low hanging fruit trade has gone. We've had it. So it looks like we're going to get that move now. Beautiful. Jack, I can't imagine what this screen would look like on a hallucinogenics. Not good fun. About as much fun as going to the Sphere and taking some, I'd say. So maybe a trade up into here coming. If it can hold anchored VWAP up, it will try to get to VWAP up and previous day low. Remember, shorts are trapped down here. That's why we put this imbalance in. There is a long here. Like I said, there's a long here for this trade back up. It's a partial here. And if you can get runners up to here, fantastic. That's what you can be looking at right now. Remember your ATR. Your ATR is increasing. Your ATR is increasing. VIX coming back down to check previous day high here. All right, big drive up. Can it hold 16s, basically, is the question on the VIX. Is the ES, the NQ, the QQQ, the SPY going to come to previous day low and check out previous day low? If it can get through that, that level there, 16s. It might need to trade a little bit higher here than previous day low, to be honest. Trying to see where most of this volume was created. Maybe into 30s if it really gets going. But we're coming into some big levels here soon. So at any point here, we have to see if sellers come back on the book. Very swirly, Tyson. Yeah. Honestly, I cannot imagine what that would feel like. Make me feel sick, I think. So how far up does this need to reprice? Do buyers, the one thing is, do buyers take full control? This is one thing that's in the back of my head because we've come down to a daily level. All right. Do they take full control? Like, does this candle print all the way up towards the top of the Bollinger Band? It's unlikely given momentum, but based on where we've traded into, I would be buying this if we just hung around here for a session or two at the lows. This is the area I wanted to buy in if we could stay around here for a session or two. I'd want like a retest and then a slingshot. Think about how many shorts are stuck at those lows right now. Lots. All right, so if you're in this long, you look good. You're starting to reprice now. So if you took this long here, like we said, there is a setup here. If you took this long, sell a bit here, try and get into here, sell some more. Hold a runner just in case it's going to be very, very aggressive and lots of shorts are caught at the lows. If We get that sort of V-shaped bottom. We get a V-shaped bottom. Remember, we get thin as we trade up here. Just big sell with lack of structure. Look how many down candles with lack of structure. We have structure here, we have structure up here. There's not much between them. So maybe kicking myself when I said I'm not going to take the long and I'll wait for the short to set up. Maybe kicking myself here. It's a big setup here off that imbalance flip and going upside. So Google's still talking here. Are any of you in this long? Did any of you take that setup? It's nice setup, man. How high can it go? Can it go and backtest previous day low and VWAP, I guess, is the question. Can anyone tell me, is there still lag? Anyone still suffering with lag before I think about executing? No lag, Clint? So everyone on NinjaTrader, no lag. The lag's gone, is it? It'd be good if it has. Long 2 micros are 2259s. It just feels like it wants to go to previous day low and VWAP here. It's what it feels like it wants to do. Nice, Jeff. Yeah, so lots of you in long here. That long's very, very good. Coming to trade all the way up to here now. And then how we act when we get there is key. How we act when we get up here is key. Big levels up here. Big levels up here. Not a huge lot of liquidity on the tape looking for a sell here, interestingly. Like 50 lots and 20 lots, nothing that big. Do we get sort of a V shape here? This is one question I've got. Is there going to be some kind of V-shaped recovery? Who knows? Nice, Tyson. These are some key levels. These white lines I put in were old wicks. All right, so just watching in and around here how we react. It might trade through it and then back down. It might fail in front of it and then back down. I'm just watching. It might not fail at all. It might just keep squeezing all the way up. Remember, we're above flow zones now. It might want to keep squeezing all the way up. It's possible. I do a new anchor off this here. Intraday buys. Big levels here. Yes, almost at previous day low, almost at VWAP. Remember, if we reclaim previous day low, from a daily point of view, we've done a failed breakout under previous day low. Right, so if you think about breakout traders, shorts, they come in at previous day low looking for the sell. If we reclaim it, we've failed to sustain sell pressure under it. All right, if we trade it back inside it, we fail to sustain sell pressure under it. See, as we're getting a bit tighter into some of these key levels here. Structure still bullish, still holding, still trying to flag to get up there right now. SPY came right into its VWAP there, I will say. QQQ did as well, right? So QQQ and SPY both tagged VWAPs. The ETFs both tagged their VWAPs. Maybe SPY missed it by a bit. QQQ traded through it and finding some sell pressure there. Watching this carefully now. How do we act here into these anchors? Lots of anchors here. All right, it's the sell anchor, which we're trading above. So these sellers are stuck. This is the buy anchor off the last pivot right into here. This was a key level before, which we've just traded through. I'm going to get rid of that now. ETFs are selling versus VWAPs right now, but these are key levels. Just being a little patient here. Like I said, these are the levels where I'm interested in shorting into. Would have rather we got into the previous day low first, but this can be the second leg finished. Oh, it's going to make it hard. So 1, 2, we trade back down in here, looking for a rotation back into here, partial out into here, hold in case we break down, which I don't expect us to do. Would have rather this leg finished up here and then rotated. So into these anchors, into the flow zones now. Key levels. Not in anything yet. Haven't broken down anything yet to make me want to trade it. Remember, I expect a bounce and a sell. The only time we don't get that bounce and sell is in when we do V-shaped recoveries. There is a possibility of a V-shaped recovery today because this demand zone down here is a daily pull. We expect this and this higher time frame. I just don't want it to do it lower time frame. I want it to do this, and then go here for tomorrow or Monday. When you understand multi-time frames, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you've done the course, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Come on, keep going higher for a bit longer. Let's get back into the chat, see what I'm seeing here. Christy, I haven't traded since then. Jack Hudkins got part of that bounce. Added to QQQ options. Well done, mate. Tyson out now. 2 W's on a day. Love it. Love it. All right, the ETFs keep getting stuck. All right, the ETFs keep getting stuck around VWAP. VIX is trading back down. It's starting to let go of previous day high. These are big levels on the VIX. Needs to hold here. If it can hold around where it is now, it's a breakout level. We can squeeze higher on the VIX, giving back more on the markets, rolling over on the markets. If VIX keeps rolling all the way back down, this market will just gently drift higher for the rest of the day if it keeps doing that. That imbalance flip, it was beautiful, this flag here. Beautiful. Shorts chased, held. Here's your higher low. Break. It's trying to produce a higher low here to get up here. If it can't hold, this is possible, as is this. I'd really like to see it one more drive higher and then fail. That's what I'd love to see. If we do a V shape, I'm going to kick myself because it's going to mean that we've you guys who took that long are going to be able to take it all the way back up to high day. Very big initial balance here. We've got initial balance forming in 4 minutes. Right, 274 points on this session. Right, it's a big initial balance. Remember, the last few days it's been like 100 points or something. Your ATR has ticked up today as well. Can we get one more drive higher before I think about doing anything? Gooseball still talking. If tariffs raise, I missed that. Hit our news blotter. Let's have a look. What's he saying? Tariffs raise prices. The Fed has to think about it. So he's saying before new uncertainties, as in the tariffs, the path to 2% looked good. So he's basically saying path to 2% might not look so good now for interest rates. This is what I was saying to you about those minutes yesterday, which should have been important. If they become majorly worried about the tariffs, if they start to indicate, they being the Fed, that they cannot do the rate cuts which we priced in this year, then we go into a sell. TR, VIX up, NAS down. Good, right. Yeah, if VIX is up, ES should sell. That should put pressure on the NAS. VIX is more aligned with the ES than it is the NAS. But yes, in general, yes. Yes. Starting to reclaim. Notice we're starting to reclaim now, right? Flow zones are starting to hold. Sellers got stuck. They were comfortable. Now we're holding them. They're starting to get out the money. Buyers, all these buyers off the lows are comfortably in the money. You can see the anchored VWAP. So I'm going to get rid of this sell VWAP. We don't need it now. We've traded through it. So sellers are out of the money. Buyers off these two pivot lows are comfortably holding. This is their anchors off the lows. I thought this had moved. It has moved. Is this in the right place as well? Do I have an opinion on the usefulness of cumulative delta? I don't really use delta, if I'm honest, but there's lots of people who really like it. I don't really use delta. For me, like big daily levels, understanding momentum is enough. I don't use delta for divergence or anything like that. But it's each to their own. I don't. Whatever people are comfortable with. It's not what I use. It's not what I teach. But if it works for you, for sure, then you should use it. Peter Curry got long from the BPR, holding to VWAP if it gets there. Already taken a partial. Yeah, very nice, mate. Down here, all the way up to here. Very, very possible and probable. After I made that money, I'm just focused on the short trade if it sets up. If it sets up. Honestly, the more I look at this, the more I think it can just drift all the way back up. So we're into that lower wick from Tuesday, the 18th now. If we get through that, we're going to drift to 118 from Wednesday. And if we get through that, we're going to drift all the way up into this block up here. All right, so there's some key levels here which we're testing there. SBR levels, support become resistance levels, which we're starting to test. It's where the buyers got liquidated. Right, if we think about the hourlies, right, these buyers support, they got liquidated. So support becomes resistance, right? SBR, no, it's a funny looking B. SBR. Right, so we're thinking about these levels, these levels, these levels. Definitely up here where it's a bit thicker, a bit more volume up here traded. More likely to reject up there if it gets there. Yes, coming right up towards previous day low. SPY is at VWAP and previous day low. QQQ is at the VWAP, not quite previous day low, but very, very close. So we're coming into those key levels, right? These are big levels based on daily bars. How we act there is important because we know that breakout shorts take shorts once we break previous day low. These are breakout shorts down to here, all right? Their stop will be in and around here. If they start getting trapped, breakout shorts will cover and we squeeze all the way back up for full, I can't believe this, full recovery, but it's very, very possible. I will be kicking myself if I don't get a buy opportunity down here on a retest. This is what I want. If it doesn't do it, I will kick myself because I've waited days for it to get down there. What's the time now? 10:30. Initial balance now set. We're at the midpoint of the day. Trying to remind myself what else is coming here. It's 11:30, right? For the auctions. Yeah, 11:30. Big hourly recovery now. Look at the hourly bars. It's a big hourly recovery up here. Very, very close to all these previous day lows and VWAPs now. SPY through the VWAP, trying to tag into that previous day low, into 609.55-ish. ES previous day low, basically 6,129.25. VWAP just above it. QQQ previous day low, 536.45s, and you can see it right here for us. We're looking for a trade into towards 19s, 18s, 19s. So I want to see one move up and a failure if I'm going to take the short. If it doesn't set up, then I probably don't get a trade. I'll probably just sit here and watch it drift higher without me all day. Looking at the M15, M5, H1, thinking about a rebalance to go lower. We're holding lower time frame bullish structure right now. So Gooseball saying he's nervous. Then we start to get a bit of a roll coming. We need some form of breakdown. Yeah, volume's tapered off for sure. Back to flow zones. Didn't quite make previous day low. Oh. Back to anchored VWAP. I'm going to kick myself. Don't flush. Don't flush. We need a drive up here. Soak and go. Soak and go, please. So still holding that anchored VWAP for now. Still holding flow zones for now. Want to see this drive up in towards this level up here, ideally. All right, or even like a big volume over it and then a failure. That's what I'm looking for. Or into here and a failure. Build out the liquidity, taper off into here, and then a failure. Please don't just wash. Please, please, please. Ah! Okay, got to be careful of bear trap under here. If we start to roll, I need a way of getting involved. I'm just looking for a retest of these lows, right? I'm looking for a retest of down here, a short to retest those lows. And then I'm thinking about buying it back on the retest of the lows. I've got to be really careful because we have RBS level here. So this is what I'm saying. If it rolls over and taps this right now, that's why I wanted an entry up here so I could get a move down into that. Don't really want it to just trade straight into it here. Apple trying to go red to green here, just about. In 2018, tariffs didn't have a material impact on national inflation. Yeah, no shit, because we didn't have any. Microsoft green, just about. Tesla 2% down. Nvidia 1/3% down. Meta 0.75% down. Google just over 0.75% down. Amazon 1.6% down. So relative strength in the market in Microsoft and Apple right now. So holding that RBS level basically right here. These guys here. I need a drive up and a fail really. It's going to be very, very hard to short this now, just in the way it's setting up, unfortunately. Much rather one more squeeze out higher. That daily candle's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Everything we wanted to see on the daily candle has happened very, very quickly. Right, tap back in. Everything we went over at the open. Tap back in, soaking off this. I really wanted us just to base down here for a day or two so I could take that position. I didn't do one off the open. I did one off the sell structure coop, which I've got rid of because we're now trading through it. I can do one off the open, but yeah, we're at it right now here, this blue line. I'll do it dark blue for you. Maybe dark green. There we go. But really, I'm paying attention to these buyers here to see if they're going to hold price. But yeah, this is average volume from the open. So some participants starting to come back in. It's still a bit thin here. It's like you're looking at 15 lots and 20 lots and 30 lots. We're not talking big size here. Like I said, I'd rather this drifts a little bit higher first. We're trading into sort of 5-minute flow zones now. These deep pullback flow zones. These are areas where sellers will start to have interest based on fibs, based on these as well. All right, I'd just rather a peek through first and a failure. We had a banger of a trade today, and if you took that long that we talked about here, remember we said shorts are stuck under here. If you took this long, this is also a good trade. So we've had two really nice trades here. Trying to just see what's being said here. You can feel it in the market. There's a bit of uncertainty going on. Vance is now speaking as well. All right, so you've got, I didn't have that programmed. You've got lots of people talking. Vance, there's a lot more to do on inflation. All right, expect some volatility here, guys. If the vice president's talking and Goolsby's talking, expect some volatility. They can say absolutely anything, remember. Yeah, exactly, Miguel. Sorry if you said that before I said it. Sorry, I didn't see it. I'm just seeing it hit our news channel in the Discord. Letting this build out now. Waiting for the next trade. If you're long, you still look sort of okay, a little bit shaky. But as long as it's holding this level for you, you should think about this continuation here and runners all the way up here if it's really going to go. If we start letting go of key levels there, I'm going to think about potential trades back downside. We're holding like a 5-minute imbalance here again. It looks very, very bullish for now. You can see it here. It keeps dipping in and holding this where we had shorts trapped. This is your RBS. It's where they have all these levels, anchored VWAPs and the imbalance. Everything's holding for now. Yeah, VIX is finding a bid, isn't it, off that previous day high that we talked about. So it's trying to drive upside to find a bid. Still a bit early, but it is trying. It's attempting to find a bid. But, I mean, it's still trading inside, you know, the last, I don't know, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, inside the last 40 minutes. Still has a chance to do a lower high and a lower low and breakdown. Also has a chance to do a flag and a breakout. A little bit early here. Big levels down here. Big RBS levels. If we start letting go of 50, it's a bit more interesting for a short, or if we drive up and we fail. But like we've given back, like we've rolled over violently today, and we're pivoting on the lower time frame for a drive higher. It's and now it's just basing out. So like the trade opportunities are getting less and less and less here. But if it starts rolling over and letting go of like the 5-minute imbalance and doesn't trap, if it stays heavy, we can think about something. You can see all these wicks down here. It's too early for a sell signal yet. It's just because we're on a 1 minute right now. I mean, it has targets to aim for up here. It does if it wants to do it. I would love it to retest down here. For two reasons. It offers me the short and it potentially offers me the long for back up. Thanks, Glenn. Have a good day, mate. Yeah, Glenn logging off with some nice winners, saying, do the course, it's invaluable. Quite right. So like we said, how we act here in this 5-minute imbalance is key. You can see we keep soaking in this imbalance, in this RBS level. We want to let go of sort of 50s, like we said. I think we said 50s or 40s. If we want to let go of this, this rotation becomes possible. But otherwise, you've got to be very careful. If they keep soaking this level here, you have to be very, very careful. What's the time? 15 minutes until a new hourly bar. What's this hourly bar look like? How this hourly bar closes is going to be key. Fib on that last hourly high to the low, if it will let me. We did retrace over 50%, not quite the golden zone. We would have needed to get to 125 for the golden zone, which would have also been this. This would have been a 61% retrace. This would have been a very nice short for a reprice back down. You can see we're now just dancing between the anchored VWAPs. We're in that 5-minute imbalance. These are key areas. We've just got to let this build out a little bit. Right into the edge of this imbalance, right to this anchored VWAP now. Here's your RBS. Are they going to let this go? Vance, I believe we're on the cusp of peace in Europe. Like, there's just so many, so much going on here. It, like, worries me to take a short here and have him say, like, war's over and some really positive news. Starting to feel a bit heavy here. ES the same, starting to feel a bit heavier. You kind of need to see a pop and a fail. But this is the key level. This imbalance level is key. Are we going to roll over here? I'm watching this closely. I've still got lag on my system. Okay, in small size here versus 40s. I'm already in the money. Already trying to move my stop in. Oh my God, I've got major lag. I don't know if I can trade this. Locked in some money there. I don't know if I can trade this. Do I do a system? Maybe I do restart here on Ninja. Bear with me, team. I'm going to have to restart Ninja Trader here. Yeah, they won't have Tyson, but it's just like what's said to move the market. how the market reacts to news. All right, so drive back up into that anchor. That was probably a decent risk there for a potential wash. I'm having to restart my Ninja Trader here because it's just not running nice. Let's see. Feels like a potential retest of the lows can come. Into big levels on the 5 minute though. Thanks, Coop. Can I just do it with the Apex cash thing or not? Clear the cache with Apex. Will that do it? Yeah, Vic's starting to drive. Okay. Yeah. If you could let me know, that'd be awesome, dude. We'll go over it later. Yeah, Vic's going for that drive back up higher. We should really be retesting that low of day like we talked about. Once we start letting go of that 5 minute imbalance, it looked good. That last drive up here looked like a good push to sell. What is the range in this? Need to be careful here. Need to be careful here. Yeah, they're trying to absorb this pullback here. If they start letting go of that, it gets nasty. Looking good. These levels here are key. Make sure I'm on the right screen. These levels key. This is where buyers came in. We roll, we can get nasty. Oh man, it's such a shame. Like I've had so many lagging issues today. I reset it and I missed like a nice entry. Ay. How's your luck? How's your luck today? Looking good here for that retest. So trade through this. Gotta be careful here as we get down towards these levels. Remember, these are daily levels down here. If it trades through that, it's possible it can get all the way down to 863 if it really wants to be violent. How's your luck, Alex? Nice, Tyson. Great work. Yeah, so first bounce short is what we talked about, isn't it? Drive down, 2 legs. I would have loved if this could have gone a little bit higher. And starting to break down here now. Covering some into these. And then if longs come back in, then we can get this move. If they don't come back in, all right, then we get break of structure here. We expect to drive lower. We can also just build out range here. This, ideally, in a selfish way, I'd love us to build out range here for the remainder of this session, only because it offers a very nice long opportunity tomorrow or Monday. So I wouldn't mind if we just build out range down here. VIX still going. 1640s now on VIX. Remember, 1662, I think, high day, 1663. Still looks good. Yeah, still just selling off. Apple about to go green to red here. We need a pop here on the Qs and then to see some sellers come back in. The market is a little bit thin. It's not like I'm seeing big orders here. Okay, so Khalees is saying there's 685 contracts on the ES at 6,100. So they're going to try and defend 6,100. Drive into flow zones and a sell would be ideal here. Drive into these anchors, into flow zones, and a sell for a new bear flag would be ideal here. But then a retest of the lows. That's what I would love. This kind of just bear flag now and just break down by the looks of it. Love this to come a little bit higher. Would love this to build a bear flag into here. We've got like a little imbalance where we killed it down here. We've got the anchors here. We've got flow zones. I'd love it to do this before it came down into here. Don't really want it to just break down here. It's not giving me great RR. Move into here and then a breakdown. And then come and sweep these guys. If we sweep these guys before getting up here, I'm not interested in the short. I need it to come here, offer a flag to come and sweep these guys out. Then I'll be a partial here and then run us for down. If we're just going to break down here, it's going to be very hard because your RR is not great. So like looking at this 5 minute. Yeah, somewhere up into here where the volume came in for this drive lower. Can we build a sort of flag into here? Then a failure. If we flip this, remember, we're not looking for shorts at that point. We are in a range now. Must respect that we're in a range now. We're shorting near the lows. It's not ideal. So this is starting to drive towards some of these levels we were talking about. I want to see what's on the tape here. 20, 40s, 50s. It's so thin. It's not like a big seller there looking to sell. We tapped into that imbalance like by a tick or two. Do we bear flag straight away and break down here? A bit higher would be nicer. Coming near an H1 close as well, and want to be aware of that. We're coming very close to an H1 close here. Bear flag starting to build out. I'd much rather this went higher first, but last tap in. Almost telling me it doesn't want to. Are we just going to run this liquidity down into 90s here? Watching this bear flag. We did tap the flow zones. We did tap the imbalance. Didn't go very high into it. Expect this to break down now. Looking to see if this is worth joining here. Small size because we're near lows. I'm not going to trade big size near lows, but I am in it for a bear flag breakdown. We've got the signal candle here. Can we go and run all these stops down towards 90s? And then if we can get through those 40s, if we trade back upside, I'll just take it off and then I'll look for a re-entry with a trade higher. All right, so if we either break this now or I'm just going to take it off here and wait for a squeeze higher and then take it, which would actually be more preferable, which is why I'm tiny, tiny, tiny size. Yeah, buyers at 22K, 75s as well. Look interesting. You gonna do it or not here? VIX looking good for a drive towards high of day. Come on, market. Just make your mind up. I don't care what you do at this point. Just do something. So it's going to attack these lows. Right, here we go. Moving my stop into the money. Looking for that sweep of the low. Would like to see it take out 22k right into 90s and then back towards low of day. Here's the 2000s. So we're looking for a trade into 90, 92s. Here we go, getting close now. Starting to trade lower. This is looking great, team. Make sure you're paying yourself a little bit here. All right, we are coming near high time frame demand. You must pay yourself some money. This is not an A+ setup down here. So we're paying ourselves some money and then we're holding runners. Yes, looking good for that breakdown as well. There's the sweep of 90s. Make sure you're paying yourself and hold runners. Pay yourself, hold runners. Looking for a breakdown to low of day if it's really going to do it, and then underneath. Fantastic. Don't want a reclaim now of sort of 90s to 2000s, right? You want that to stay heavy. Lovely, lovely work, team. All right, make sure you're paying yourself here. We look good. We look good. But just make sure you're paying yourself. We know buyers came in here earlier. We know this is a daily spot that they might want to protect. Would have rather we drifted higher first. Would have got more size on, but it's fine. Do not let it reclaim these key levels above us. Looks really good here. Please pay yourself, all right? Please, please, please pay yourself. Watch that volume on that last candle. Lots of sellers chased in there. Please pay yourself. If we start reclaiming, I don't like it. Please pay yourself. Stops should be in the money. Here's your reclaims starting to happen now. So back testing where we broke down from. Be very careful. Look at the volume on that last candle and we've repriced. Be very careful. If shorts chase down here and get stuck, they will open up this move. I'm already out of this now. I already paid myself in that move. Volume's telling me what it wants to do here. Can always re-enter. Yeah, lovely. Nice work, team. All right, so the reason I was so cautious there is we knew, right, that the easy target was here, right, and we knew that they'd want to protect this level. Look at this last white candle down and look at the volume, and then look at the next bar. Volume straight back up. That short's chasing in, who then gets stuck. So we can just let this shake out. Honestly, we've had some great trades today. I really don't feel the need to force it now. I have a little bit of FOMO. I'm going to be honest. I can feel the FOMO on me because I feel like I've had the best entry today up here. And the fact that I couldn't move my stop down is a little rough. It's a little rough to take. But it's just one trading day. Remember, this is what we were looking for as higher time frame buyers. Right, so if we can do this now, we can go all the way back up. I would much rather, I'm going to keep saying it, I'd much rather we hang out here for the remainder of the day. I really don't want us to see us up here today. I would much rather take this long tomorrow. Right, basically a W and an up tomorrow. That would be much better. Bostic saying doesn't expect a new burst of inflation. I think I was just reading. We're back to that 5-minute imbalance here. Coming to tap into flow zones. Let me just check this news. Yeah, VIX can get through that higher day. Didn't get through, but it can rebuild here if it needs to. Let's see. If there are big deportations, is that? It does have an implication on the number of jobs created. I do not expect a new burst of inflation, though uncertainty is widespread. Yeah, the market hates uncertainty. So one thing we do not like in the market is uncertainty. All right, at least half of you watching right now have not smashed that like button. Do me a favor, hit that like button. All right, I think we're 3 for 3 on stream today again. Ulamar, join the FOMO club. My entries keep getting missed. Try not to blow my Apex accounts. Definitely do not blow your accounts. All right, if you're feeling FOMO, just back off. Just back off. It's fine. Don't need to force it. There's a new trading day tomorrow and next week, and on and on and on and on and on. I don't need to force it. Like I said, I have FOMO, so I've backed off myself. I've sized down. I have FOMO, but I'm multiple 4 figures up as well. So I don't need, I'm not going to bang my head on a brick wall of I coulda, woulda, shoulda had a massive day. Right? There's plenty more opportunities. The market presents opportunities all the time. You don't need to force it today. Remember, today I was expecting chop unless we got a breakout or failed breakout. We got the breakout, we took the trade. Yesterday we had chop, so we traded inside the range. Now we have to wait. Be smart, be patient. Those of you who are new on stream, all right, I'm here every single day, Monday to Friday, from pre-market, 9:15, 9:20. Right, we go through top-down analysis. We go through what I'm looking at, when I'm looking to execute, and why, so you can learn. And then we take those trades together when possible. So do me a favor, help me grow this channel. Share it with your mates, share it with your private Discord, whoever you want to share it with. And we just do the same thing day after day, rinse and repeat. Repeatable process. Repeatable process. You notice how I said today we had the short, and when we were down here, I was like, not going to short in the hole down here. This was the trap. We called it here. This is likely to be a long up here. I said it's likely to be a long. And I also said I'm not going to take the long. I'm going to focus on the short. I wanted one more tiny drive higher. I would have liked one more drive higher to really slam this. But then we've eventually got some of it for this move down. We're kind of done right now. We've got 55 minutes left. We're just building out a range here. It needs to build new liquidity. That liquidity can be a new breakdown if it wants. It can be that spring, or it can hold for tomorrow for the drive higher. I don't really mind what it does as long as it stays down here. I really like the trade setup for the next few days. It stays down here. So back towards these guys here, right? These are the guys that are stuck. We could do another one of these here now if you want. This is a sell. And these buyers are stuck right now. So buyer's average price off the low and seller's average price off that bounce short is the same into 40. All right, into these flow zones. Let it build out now. Nothing to force. We have a 5-minute imbalance here. If we start flipping through here and holding, then shorts are going to get stuck at low of day. Same thing that they keep doing again and again and again. Mr. Slim woke up late, $65. Hey, $65 is not bad if you woke up late. You do that every day. It's a nice additional income. Red Don, awesome channel. Glad I found it last week. Oh, thank you, Red Don. Means a lot. Saradi P, I love your insight. Keeps me, or oversight, keeps me grounded from chasing. Yeah, it's really important not to chase. Coop, if you're trading 20 PAs, $50 per account is $1,000 a day. That's one trade using 1 to 2 micros. No need to size at all. You should not be blowing accounts using 1 to 2 micros. Exactly, brother. Exactly what we talk about all the time. Trentry, it is clicking for me when I see you go back to the higher time frame. It potentially can help you understand the direction of the trend. Yes, exactly. Higher time frame is important. All right, understanding the higher time frame is important. Remember, institutions and hedge funds do not give 2 shits about the 1 minute, the 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, 5 minute. They don't care. They're caring about the weekly, the daily, the 4-hour, the hourly. That's what they're looking at. All right, they're not sitting at their desk clicking every 2 seconds. They're looking to trade in big pools of liquidity because they've got to put massive size on the book. The only way they can do that is by trading into bigger levels where you get major stop runs. So we're starting to see liquidity on the book higher now. It's the first time today. They've literally come on in the last, what's the time now? In the last 2-3 minutes. All right, so you've got a 76 lot at 22,085, and then you've got a 30 or 40 lot up at 100. The first time we're seeing them on the book. Ian Gervin, 4 for 5 today, up 10%. Hey, that's fantastic. So right into these anchored VWAPs, right? See how important these anchored VWAPs are. These are key levels. Average price of buyers off the low and sellers on that pivot high where we just sold down from. We have an imbalance here like I just talked about, right? There is an imbalance basically here. If we reprice this, shorts that chased down here and didn't take profits into this liquidity like we did because they're not smart, might get smoked. If we reprice this, we're going to go back to here. Remember, we are in a range, and this is a big range down here now. This is a range just in this session. Remember, here's your IBL, there's your VWAP. All right, we're trading between IBL and VWAP. Reclaim this. IB high is not out of the question later today. I would rather it doesn't do it today, like I keep saying. Much rather it does it tomorrow. The reason I'm backing off right now is because I think we've had some great trades. Peter says, my time at the chart is over. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow, Peter. Lovely trading with you again. I think you caught both directions today as well. Nice work. Nice work. So it's trying to reprice this 5 minute back to the deep pullback flow zones. If we start getting flips through here, we're going to try and raid this liquidity up into previous day low. Like I said, shorts love to chase and get stuck at this low. The volume down here was the signature that they were getting stuck. That's why I said cover, please pay yourself, please pay yourself. I'd say on a 5 minute, if it can hold above 28s, it looks good, especially if it can close above 60s here. Oh, Aaron. Well, at least you're up nice on your eval. At least you're up nice on your eval. Starting to squeeze now. All right. I'm going to start removing some of these. Put a new one in just from here. Trading back towards this 930 VWAP. We're through the imbalance. We're trading in this range here. This is mainly the range here. Failed above it, failed beneath it. We get above this, we can trade upside. Remember, there's supply overhead above from higher time frames. The last H1 high was 105. Was this here, was it? Yeah, 107, 105. Red Don just got 2 funded accounts this week. Great work. VWAP resistance QQQ. Let me have a look. Yeah, a little bit higher, but yeah. Yep. Same with the spiders, a little bit higher. It's potential. Arturo Silva Jr. Thank you for turning up. Have a great day. Great work. Hopefully you're nice and green. Lots of you leaving now, so I'm assuming lots of you green. Slap me a G in chat if you're green on the day. If you took some of these trades with me, if you're green on the day, slap me a G in chat. Let me see how many of you are green before you bug out for the day. Hopefully lots of you. I know lots of you left already. Taking some big winners. Yeah, great. It's love to see it. Love to see it. Same names over and over again, which is amazing. It means you're turning up day in, day out, learning, repeating the same process. That's what trading's about. Turn up every day, do the same thing. As boring as it is, that's what we have to do. Love to see it, team. All right, so repricing all the way back to VWAP now. Nice, Leron. Good work. Lovely, lovely, lovely. All right, so we've got a giant W here at the bottoms. All right, remember when we were up here, I was saying I expect a retest, a short up here and a retest of the low. And then I'd like to see this. I really don't want to see this. Oh my, I don't want to see this today. All right, I really do not want to see. Why is this doing this? I really do not want to see this today. I want to see it tomorrow. I want us to just base down here. If we can base down here, the reason is if we can base down here for most of the session, we are going to build so much liquidity in here that if tomorrow we do a failed breakout, we can go all the way back up higher. Yeah, so like I am selfishly want us to just chop here all day now. That's what I want. How very unfair of me, but it is. It's what I want. All right, so now you would expect on the 5 minute. All right, if we can hold sort of 30s, dips down into here. Remember, we're getting stuck at this VWAP right now. Dip down into here. If we hold this level and build like this, potential to come and test the top side. So far, maybe this possible. If they let go, maybe it comes deeper. The only thing I'd be worried about is all the stops down there now. But yeah, I'm hands off right now. So QQQ didn't quite make its VWAP. NQ did make the anchor, right? That dark green line, it did make it. QQQ, the ETF, didn't quite make it. SPY, relative weakness on the day. Let's have a quick look at the Mag 7. We haven't looked for a little minute. Tesla, 2.4% down. Nvidia, 1.1% down. Meta, 0.7% down. Google, 0.64% down. Amazon, 1.6% down. Microsoft, almost 1% up. And Apple, 0.2% up. So Apple and Microsoft, relative strength in this market. Everything else in a sell. Weakest of the day out of the mag is Tesla. So here's the pullback in. This is the key level here. You have a BPR on a 5 minute. You have a BPR here on a 5 minute. Where did I anchor? This green one is from the 9:30 open. Yeah, and a minute ago, it's just disappeared. I was anchored from here. I deleted all the other ones, right, because we've traded through them. So this is average price of buyers off this dip low now. I think they've got a hold sort of around here. If they don't hold this, they can't come back up to upside. This is your BPR that we're sort of trading into now. How long left? New 5 minute candle here as well. It's a big dip in the opening 5 minutes here. If they soak this, it has a potential to trade back up to the top of the range. If they're going to let it go, then we rewash those lows towards that double bottom. Remember, we've got stops now at 74 and 50s. What's on the tape? Biggest orders on the book now. All right. 21,825. There's a 100 lot. And there's another 100 lot at 650. Wow. Don't see us going down there. Where's 650s? 825 would be the 20-day. Nah, mate. Nah. I don't see us. Why would come down there? No reason to come down there right now. Not to 650. Maybe that changes. So in and around that anchor right now. Big level here. Big pullback level here. And buyers on the tape here. 100 lot in towards 15. It's going to be a bouncing ball and breakdown. It would be interesting, but it shouldn't really need to do that based on the pattern it's given, but it doesn't mean it can't. This can, like we said, this can be a giant build of liquidity, and we can snap this if we want and then come back up. It can come lower. If it really wants to come lower, it can. But yeah, that's sort of the channel you're in. I should probably sort of draw that in for you. Should be a parallel channel, something like that. That's what you're in right now. Delete that. Don't need him anymore. Remember, the main thing we're looking at today has been sells. All right, so if you look at the 5 minute and 15 minute, they remain in sells. But if they start to absorb here and shorts get trapped at the low, we can go and attack up here towards 100s, right? Lots of stops up here and lots of stops down here. I don't really want to participate here unless it's going to show me something really nice. maybe trade through that imbalance of that kill candle it just put in. No, not really. I don't. I just use the terms mainly for people on stream that come over. But he didn't invent imbalance. Imbalance has been around since the beginning of time. I use supply and demand, or support and resistance, and I use momentum and understanding where stops are. That's all I use. Right into that anchored VWAP, that dark blue line, that anchored VWAP, average price of buyers. We know that the dip buyers after this wanted to hold this for the squeeze. They need to hold this level here if they're going to continue. Remember, this is like an RBS level. They have to hold this lower time frame to get up here. Failure to do so, they're opening the door to come and wash these guys out. We've already repriced and gone wick to wick on the daily in this down here. Remember, that's a daily level down there. We went wick to wick. There's no reason to go lower. All right, there's no reason to go lower unless there's some catalyst or some fear come in the market. It's done the main job today. The low-hanging fruit that we talked about has been and gone. It's what we took earlier in the day. It's why I'm now waiting. It's why we're now building liquidity. I've got nothing planned right now, sale-wise. When would be the next sale? I'm trying to think when a new sale would be. Holiday-wise, I don't know. Nothing planned at the moment, though, I'm afraid. Memorial Day, yeah. When's Memorial Day? I don't mind doing a 24-hour sale for Memorial Day. Is that coming up? Last Monday, mate. Yeah, there we go. So one then. So big levels up here. Like we said, there's the anchor. Big levels in here now and here. It wants to hold this to get upside. If it fails here and trades under here, it's opening up this. But it wants to hold this 5 minute to get upside right now. We took this liquidity, so I'm going to get rid of that guy there. We retested that already. That fresh level is gone. Easter, April 20th. Where are we in? Yeah, I don't mind doing something like that. A little Easter sale. So it's holding that 5 minute. Like we talked about that BPR on the 5 minute. Like we said, it has to sort of protect 30, which is what it's doing. And now trying to trade upside. Still just chopping around here. That was a good hold, I would say, on the 5 minute. Looks pretty good. How this bar closes, how long we got left? 3 minutes in this bar. I'm not really pulling trigger on anything right now. I was tempted to pull a long in here. I'm going to be honest. I was tempted to pull the long in here. Small size, partial out here and see if I could get up to there. But it's just a little bit early to do that right now. So sellers coming on the tape now. 100 lot, 22,085. And then they're stacked from there into 100, and then a 25 lot, 25, 50, 75. Exactly, don't diddle in the middle. It's a little bit early. It's also a timing thing. The volume's starting to taper off other than when we get people trapped. We've got the odd indication of when people are trapped in the volume. It's not letting me draw now either. Fantastic. Volume increase, which we repriced. Remember, main play today has been lower. It might want us to come and sweep these guys out. There's no real reason for it to come down here based on the daily, but it might just want to hang around down there. But the damage has been done. That daily candle that we keep talking about, it's done the damage. Right, this is what we were looking at. Wick to wick. Right, it's gone wick to wick. This line here, it's already done it. I'd love to see it hang out here and open up that daily flag off an RBS level for new all-time highs. Remember, this will keep drifting higher then. Then the 20-day will get up here and support this move. It makes sense. It makes total sense what's happening right now from a daily perspective. All right, bear with me, team. I tell you what, I'm going to go and get a new cup of coffee, a cup of Joe. Hopefully my wife left some in there for me. And I'll be right back. We've had some good trades today. I'm not going to be very long. A couple minutes as well, maybe less if there's coffee in there for me. All right. We are back. Has anything changed? Nope. Nothing changed. Everything's just in a range again. All right, with that happening, is there anything you want to go over in chat? Right, we've got a little bit of time left until I'm going to leave, just over half an hour. Trend trees. Each trade you've taken so far has been on Top Step X simulator. Aaron, what time do I jump into Discord? I don't like trade live in Discord. I just call out what's happening for the remainder of the day, especially if the morning session has been a bit flat. And we just talk about what we're looking for later in the day. I think yesterday we are holding this BPR here and we're holding Anchor V up here. This is, it wants to try and do a squeeze out here if it's caught enough. The main channel in Discord we use is just the futures channel. That's if we go to yesterday. So you guys can see that. So we go over what we're looking at this in this morning session. You can see this breakdown that we were looking for, this rising wedge. Yesterday we were talking about don't be stuck in the range. I took this short down for this sweep, that we were talking about. Same thing yesterday, going over plans. And then occasionally we do like private lessons if there's like people want to go over stuff. Jack Hudkins, finished my screenplay. Now just got to find someone in the biz to read the damn thing. Jack, you're in Santa Monica, right? Is that what you do? Is that your main job? Are you a writer? Have you done anything before? Trentry, just take your time. Saying you blew your top step accounts a month ago. Just take your time, mate. Take your time. This is starting to build here, like it's going to put on a bit of a squeeze. Obviously, we've got this anchor from the New York Open. Here is the 5 minute that we talked about, somewhere around here. And I said if it protects this RBS level, we can squeeze. I was very tempted to take a buy here. I'm going to be honest. I think I said it already. Very tempted to take this pullback in because it felt like they were trapped, but had a good day. Questioning, should I be trading right now at all? We've had a really good day. What are the odds? It feels like it wants to at least raid 77 and then raid 107s. They're starting to come back into the tape here. Where are they at? 85. So there's 100 lot at 85. So you want to go and fill him. They do want to go and fill him. The 15-minute bars are just sideways now. The 5-minute bars in that range. We're in a range, trying not to trade the middle of this range, which is why I'm trying not to pull the trigger here. This is most of the range. Okay, you could argue this is excess. This is most of the range. You could argue this is excess. Between these, we're probably about middle. I feel like we want to sweep these guys out. That's what it feels like. But a feel and a trade are two different things, right? But on a 5 minute, if we move this down to a 5 minute, of course, this is going to F everything up. All right, we've got this here holding. As long as this holds, remember this is where shorts blew out. Holds. As long as this holds, a squeeze is potential here because shorts here got blown out. So we look to take out the next level of short stops. If it fails, rotation becomes possible under here to here. We're still failing, thanks to Coop, that VWAP off the open. Coop helped us there. We didn't even have it on our chart until he reminded us. Come on, TradingView. What is this garbage? There we go. Just a hobby, Jack. It's a good hobby. You're in the right place of the world to do it. Do you have any friends who work in the business who do that type of thing? Miguel, purchased the course this week. Looking forward to learning. Thank you for trusting me, Miguel. Looking forward to working with you. Coop, I'm going to call it a day. Great day, even though we didn't catch the whole move. Yeah, I know. Well, what can you do when I think you were working, Coop? And I just find it odd that suddenly you can't move a stop when the market's ready to absolutely dump. That's a bit annoying. But hey, we made good money and we go again tomorrow. It's all we have to do, right? We keep our noses clean. We keep out of all the noise going on in the other channels and all the industry bullshit. We turn up each day, make some money, provide for our family, go again. It's really that simple. Mike, I was thinking to look for a long position on ES after the price comes down to 6,099 to complete the daily gap. Also a higher time frame RBS level. What do you think? Oh, it's the level 6,099. 6,099. yeah, I don't dislike that as long as it puts in bullish structure there. I think you've got, yeah, that RBS. I like the RBS level. You've also got the 20-day moving average there. So that's a full mean reversion, which is nice. But you need to see some form of bullish pattern there. You know, even if it peaks through it too far and then you get an inverse head and shoulder or you get a W or something, it's got to give you a reason to buy it. What I wouldn't do is buy 99 as it drifts down, because if it starts liquidating 99 and then it wants to come for the stops at 60s and 55s and 22s, you're going to be stuck in a nasty position, right? So just make sure when you're looking at those levels, it's a great level. I like your read. It makes total sense. Make sure it puts in some bullish structure down there, right? So wait for it to get there and then let it put in some bullish structure once it gets there. But yeah, I like that level. I think it's a good read of the levels. It makes sense to me looking at it. Great, now my other screen is giving flow zone problems. Jeez Louise. About, no worries. No worries. You can see, like, we're chatting away here because the market's just doing nothing now, right? It has to build liquidity. Right? It has to build liquidity. We talk about it all the time. How did we get down here? We got down here because we spent best part of 2.5 days, right, building liquidity. And then it went, hey, we're ready to sell. Hey, we're going to liquidate you. And then we went bang all the way down, right? Now we have to build liquidity. Right, and that liquidity will either be used to go lower or higher. Right, we'll build liquidity, and then we'll either liquidate these guys, and then it can drift lower, or can then come back up. Or we build liquidity, pop above and fail, or pop above and hold for a trade all the way back up to highs. We have to build liquidity. Market cannot move without liquidity. The only time it moves without liquidity is basically when you get an injection of liquidity. You get lots of buyers or lots of sellers coming into market based on news. But at the moment, we're building liquidity. I'm pretty sure we just had an auction. I had an auction set for now. I just missed that. Didn't move the market, did it? I got that wrong? Oh, 9 o'clock. Sorry. 9 o'clock. Okay. That's 9 o'clock my time. That's 25 minutes. I'm pretty sure we would have just had one. So 25 minutes left on stream here. ES looking weak here. ES looks like it wants to go and sweep those lows right now. It looks like it wants to take out the initial balance low and sweep them. That's what the ES looks like. NQ doesn't look quite the same, but it is holding its 5-minute flow zones, and these right here, deep pullback flow zones, are holding. Every time we get into deep pullback, it's holding. These are the key levels right here. If it lets go of this move down here starts to become more probable into these stops. Big if. It is a big, big if. That's what it's starting to look like it wants to do, especially with the ES starting to bleed out. ES looks like it wants to come and attack its lows. It's got relative equal lows into the IB low of like 102. So that's what I'm looking at on the ES. If NQ is going to join, then we can get a wash all the way back down to low of day. And I don't mind attacking this if it's going to do it. So I'm watching carefully here in case we start breaking down and I can grab some momentum. Watching these stops here at 23s. Bang. Here we go. Can't move my stop again. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? What is up? Every time I move a stop, I get an error message. Literally took that out instantly when I couldn't move my stop. That's the third time today. I still think we're going to take lows now. So watch ES. ES coming into low of day. New lows coming on the ES at the initial balance low. Be careful here. Right, you're thinking about auction versus failed auction. If the next drive up fails in towards, what's that level we were trying to hold? Sort of 28, 30s. If we fail in there on the NQs, we can drive lower. All right, if we reclaim that, then all bets are off. I've already taken the position off because I couldn't move my stop. Comrade, I disagree more recently. I've always agreed with you. More recently, we've had like nasty moves very, very quickly on low liquidity on those. So if you've got a stop in place, they've often raided it by 10, 15, 20 points very quickly. Normally, I'd agree with you. They're not something I pay attention to, but in terms of liquidity, they are something I pay attention to. So retesting that sort of 30, 35 level. ES did it sweep one level or not? No. The ES still not sweeping low of days, starting to try and reclaim already. So we did one sweep here on the Qs, and we've left these guys. ES came right down to here, right, and this low here is relative equal low, and it hasn't taken it. Right, so it's drifting back upside. If it fails, it's going to take it out. Very, very different charts right now. So maybe that was the hold of the buyers. We said building liquidity here have to be very, very quick. Yeah, but generally, Comrade, I agree with you. They don't really move. They don't move the market. It just feels recently it's been so thin. ES out of sync with VIX. We look all right. VIX is not too far away from the IB high, and the ES is not too far away from the IB low. There's definitely this sort of 5-minute range is key. We talked about this sort of range here. All right, this is being key. Traded down through it, traded back through it, traded into it, dipped down underneath into sort of these RBS levels, which are holding. This is why I was looking for a raid lower. All right. If we hold, we go back upside and we come and abuse these guys. Stuck between the anchored VWAPs as well. Look, anchored off New York, anchored off this recent pivot low. Stuck between these right now. Market conditions keep moving, not getting alignment. It will come. When they finish building, it will come. ES leaving liquidity both sides as well. It's left relative equal lows, and then it's left those highs at 17, 17.25 stops. So you've got lots of stops being built into this market right now. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that, guys. Gustavo, hola. Hola, hombre. Book just not really doing much right now. I'm looking at the extremes of the book, like 825, there's 100 lot. 250, there's 100 lot. Those seem to be like the extremes of the book right now. And there's guys just in and out and in and out with their limit orders, like not getting filled, like trying to drag it up, it doesn't move, and they pull it, and then they put it back on 10 minutes later, and then they pull it. So that guy at 85 has done that quite a few times. Just in a range here. This seems to be more and more of a range build in here. This is definitely a key level, this RBS here. Raided underneath, turned back inside. If we stayed heavy there, we got the continuation. It didn't. Will it want to raid these guys now that it's turned inside the range. Key for that will be if ES starts to join in. Starting to put in a few little bullish signatures here. And up here, if it's going to get going. Big if. Big if. How long we got left? 15 minutes until we get the new hourly bar and lunch. What's the last hourly bar looking like? Pretty decent. Pretty decent. Most of the volume now is being created. Current point of control is at 40. It's basically just under where we are. Haven't really talked about that much today. So let's look at this hourly bar. Here's your kill candle on the hourly. Boom. Here's your trade from daily level back up. Then closes low. And then this hourly trying to get up towards the other hourly bar high, right, where the stops are. Point of control here. So it's trying to get up towards this right now if the buyers can take control. Shorts likely to come more aggressively into these levels, looking for that return. So you've got an imbalance now. Right, if we can go from this hourly high to here, and you've got supply. There's good reason for the market to try and get to this before creating that double bottom that we're looking for, or it would be this would be the double bottom, right, on a higher time frame. This feels very drifty here for a move higher. What's the ES doing? It's going to try and get to those 17s right now, 1750. That guy at 22,085 back on the tape with 100 lot. So he's been on, off, on, off, on, off all morning. He wants to get filled up there. I'm not in anything right now. I had a little attempt, small size for that breakdown. Couldn't move my stop, took it off in the money instantly. Probably did me a favor there in many ways. Would have been a break even otherwise. Back and forth. What a boring afternoon session. Like I said, once we got that first move, I said we probably got the move of the day. Would have to build liquidity out to do anything after that. We got like a 200 plus point, or 300 almost. I'm going to tell you what it is in a second. Just moving some of these things around here so I can see what the bloody hell I'm doing. That initial balance move was 274.5. Right, 274 points and 2 ticks. So once we got that, this sell here that we took, and here, partial and held runners into here. If you kept it, if you didn't have the issues with Ninja, you did very well. And then you guys took the long back up into here, and then some of you took this short with me back down. 3 good trades. The best trade being that short. Once we did this, a big move like that, you expect the bounce, you expect the retest, and then you expect chop while it builds out, leg down or reversal. And that's what we're in now. We're in the chop. So if you missed this, or this, or this, you're now having to sit still. If you're not sitting still, you're pressing buttons probably without a big setup. Lovely, Jeff. 3 wins, off to work. You can go to work with a smile now. Go and enjoy your day, knowing that you crushed it. Great work. So any questions, team, before we get out of here? Any questions about any prop firms or the course or anything at all before we start getting off stream? So 85's just lifted his order again. This guy cannot make his mind up there. It's what I love about Bookmap. I can see when they come and go, when they're spoofing, when they don't get their fills. Then I can look for him to see if he tries to enter further down, if he's trying to chase it further down. Yeah, starting to be like a bouncing ball. It wants to go and liquidate those lows. It's trading between the highs and the lows in this immediate range, right? Low of day and the IBL on the ES wants to be raided. It couldn't take out that 117, so now it's going to see if it can come back down and raid 103s. My real name's Alex. Real name's Alex. I started pressing buttons. Willa, don't do that. Don't do that. Thoughts on my funded futures? Is that who you're talking about? My funded MFFU? I don't trade with them, Daniel, but they're good if you do trade with them. I think that's who you mean. Comrade, do I follow Formula One? Yes, my friend. Big Formula One fan. Have been ever since I was like 10 years old. I was lucky enough to DJ at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix a few years ago, and absolutely love it. I've been very lucky to have met Lewis, and absolutely love it. We'll be supporting Ferrari this year. Now Lewis has moved there. My two favourite drivers there now. I went to the Austin Grand Prix last year. I will be going to more this year for sure. Wouldn't mind going to Montreal this year. And if I can get to Singapore, because I've got a few friends out there, I wouldn't mind going to that either. You add VWAP to the flow zone chart, right? It isn't part of the flow zone indicator that I have turned on. Am I right? Yeah, correct. VWAP is just its own indicator. You can just add it up here. Yes. If you're using NinjaTrader, there's a VWAP as well. You'll probably have to install it. I think it's called VWAP X. If you drop me or Coop a message on Discord, we'll be able to send it to you. Yeah, I've been to Silverstone. Yeah, plenty of times. Been to Silverstone. Plenty of times. Bigger orders starting to come onto the book here. 2005, 2000 and 2000, 22,005, 22,000 whole, 21,995. All right, so there's some orders down there. This market cannot make its mind up what it wants to do. Yeah, just drop Cat, go into, let me just double check this. Make sure I'm giving you the right details. Let's have a look. If you go into the NinjaTrader section, there's some stuff there. Remind me in there. Miguel just posted something in there for an anchored one. I will post the VWAP one in there for you guys as well. All right, so it should all be in the community. So we just make sure everyone's got everything looked at and set up properly. TR, is Bookmap for NAS or S&P, or does it have gold? It has absolutely everything, right? So it depends what data feed you're using. But yeah, it has Nasdaq. Or if you're using CME data, Nasdaq and the S&P, it has gold, it has silver, it has copper, it has like if you want to look at the stocks, you can look at stocks. I used to use it when I was trading small caps loads, so I could see where the bag holders were stuck. All right, so like things like AMC and GME was really good to trade with it, and LI Auto, I remember using it for a lot. So yeah, you can use it for absolutely anything. Omolabi number 1. Alex, is your Discord free? I can't find the link. It is not free, my friend. All right. It's not paid. It's not a subscription base. It's just for my students. So once you do the course and you finish the course, you get entry into the Discord for life for free. It's just so that everyone understands what I'm teaching, what I'm talking about, so we're all looking at the same thing. It's to build a nice cohesive community. The problem with free Discords is that you get all sorts of spammers join and people trading different ways, and then that causes frustration in the group when they don't know whether they should take a trade or not. Let's put it that way. Montreal is awesome venue. The city alone is a great place to visit, but when the F1 weekend comes, yeah, I can imagine. I want to go there anyway because I heard it's an amazing party city. The food's fantastic. I've got a few friends who used to go to college there and loved it. Yeah, I'm not sure if you've done the course or not, Omolabi, but if you're doing the course, scroll down to the very end of the course. There's an email there. Shoot the email, show the proof of purchase on the course, and then I'll add you. If you haven't done the course, then you're welcome to do it. One-time fee. There's no subscription in it. Totally up to you. No pressure. If you're already trading your own strategy, don't worry about it. VPAT. Amazing call outs today. I love the live commentary. Helps to learn so much. Yeah, exactly. I think that is the difference. What separates me from these other streamers is I try and teach why I'm going to look at a setup. So you can hopefully see it for yourself next time rather than just taking the trade and screaming about how much money I've made and never telling you why I'm getting in. Back and forth. The range continues. You can see the tightening of the range continues. At some point, someone is going to get raided here. All right. Think about how many stops are getting in here. So short stops are here, short stops are here, and buys stops are here. So the buyers are all here. If they become sellers, we come down. All right. If these guys get popped, we raid this. At the moment, we're trading back and forth. It cannot make its mind up. You've got 5 minutes until lunch. Yeah, I love F1. I haven't watched. I want to watch the live event that happened the other day with Jack Whitehall. I saw a clip of him, like taking the piss out of Max, not sitting next to George, and all this stuff. How good the beef was. So yeah, but I really enjoyed Austin. Like I wasn't sure that was my first Grand Prix in America, and I wasn't sure what it was going to be like. But the city was so vibrant and alive at night. But I must say, it was also the Bulldogs against Texas. So it was packed. The streets were packed. It was really good fun. I had a great time. Very hot, though. So hot. And there's like no shade in that stadium. We were lucky we had one of the stands with shades. But a lot of the stands don't have shade. You just... burning. Yeah, I agree. ES really looks like it wants to come and raid that IBL. But the problem is this like bouncy ball, right? If shorts keep getting stuck down there, like I'm going to show you the difference in the charts. The look of the charts are different. I see how ES is like doing this bouncy ball. So it wants to come and raid these, right? It wants to raid these. But if it gets stuck here, these are where we squeeze, or these are where we squeeze. But look how it's doing this sort of bouncy ball setup into the lows. We go back to NQ. The bouncy ball setup is just stuck in the range here. Right? It's not like we're doing this, which is what ES is doing. Have to change this yet again, reset it. Yeah, I agree. Authentic rivalry, great for the sport. Really good for the sport. Yes, I might go to. I'm thinking about going to Vegas next year. But I was actually asked to play it the first year, which I gave the gig to a friend of mine because I don't DJ anymore, and it was for McLaren. So it was with David Coulthard and Guy Horner, which is Christian Horner's brother, own a like a concierge service for McLaren, and they were hosting in, I think it was in the area or something like that. And I didn't go because I knew it was going to be a mess the first year. So a friend of mine DJ'd for me there, and a couple other friends went to it, and they just said it was a nightmare to move around that city, a nightmare to get in and out. The traffic was mayhem. So I think if I do it, I mean, I don't live far away, but I would probably not drive. Probably get a flight in like a few days before and a few days after. Otherwise, I think it's just chaos. The place is chaos. I think they're starting to sort it out now. I think the drivers like the track. They do enjoy that track, which makes for a better race. Oh man, me too. Me too. I would have loved to have seen that. The film Senna is what got my wife into F1. So it's one of the few sports, not even one of the few sports. It's the only sport she will watch with me. Trying to get her to watch England, Scotland with me this Saturday. I can't. I've even offered to cook like a full English breakfast and everything. Zero interest in watching it with me. for the Calcutta Cup. All right, just over a minute into lunch. We have not moved for the best part of an hour now. Yeah, pretty much an hour. We're in a tiny little range, 30-point range for the best part of an hour. ES looks like it wants to come and sweep those lows. It definitely looks like it. Very easy to get caught down here as a short seller. You've got to be careful. Starting to let go of that anchor as well. This is becoming less and less relevant now. These guys are a little bit stuck in this tape. Same level still. This is your RBS level. This is where seller stops are. And then here. If it breaks under here, we can get that rotation in. You have to be careful if it does that. If ES sweeps and then comes back inside, it's going to make it very hard for NQ to do anything like that. I might have a quick look at FinViz if I have it up anywhere. See what the breadth's like. That is definitely not accurate. There we go. I was like, hang on a second. We are not that green. Yeah, so Microsoft and Apple. Healthcare holding the market up right now. So healthcare and energy. Everything else in a bit of a bleed. We're through pretty much everything. Some speeches here. Midday. The only things left that we're really looking at. Jimbo, I don't know. Like, I think it's getting closer and closer. Like, I think the cards are a bit more competitive. I think, you know, Red Bull are losing their edge a little bit. There's more interesting dynamics between the drivers now. I would agree with you historically for sure. But I think it's starting to get a bit more competitive. Like, really, Lando should have really won last year or put some more damage on. The year before, Ferrari absolutely threw it away with Charles. He should have won that that year. So, like, Max has won 2 championships. Definitely won one that he probably didn't deserve with Ferrari. Definitely won one versus Lewis, which he didn't deserve. We just don't even consider that a championship. Put an asterisk by that. And so I think it's getting a little bit more competitive. Aaron, yeah, Bookmap will show you stocks. If you pay for the data feed on those stocks for that market, whether it be New York Stock Exchange or the Nasdaq, it will show you, yes. So you use it for stocks. I used to use it for small caps. Catch you later. Catch you later, everyone. Yeah, I'm going to get out of here now as well. We're into lunch. Didn't even realize. 2 minutes into lunch. I'm done. I am done. We had good money today. So what are you looking for the rest of the day? If they break down, you're looking for a raid of these. If they stay heavy versus these, maybe we can drift lower down into here. It seems unlikely just based on the daily, but it's not impossible. If we keep holding, if ES sweeps and turns inside as well, here is your squeeze, all right, up into these guys here and then through this. If too many shorts have got caught in here and they get above this and hold, this can potentially get violent up into these levels. All right, this can happen very quickly up into here. If it is a big if, this liquidity is full of shorts trying to force it down here and they don't get their play. I'm not necessarily convinced that's what it is. We can also just trade like this. Right, we can absolutely do that, which is what we're already doing. Really, you got to think, since what time is this? 9:55. Let's just call it since 10 o'clock, we're trading sideways. So your edge will be to zoom out. All right, focus on the 5-minute, the 15-minute, the hourly chart. All right, don't get too zoomed in to this M1 chart. All right, do not do that. Make sure you understand where you are as a narrative to the higher time frame. That is what pays all the time. It's always what pays. That's why we look for this drift down Remember, my final cover that I was looking for today was into 64. All right, 64. We were looking for covers into 64. So if I had a wish target on this and I could actually move my stop, it would have overrun it by a bit and then come back up. The reason for that is we understood the daily narrative. We understood where it wanted to go on the daily. All right, until next time, you know the score. Be kind to each other. Be thankful. Be humble. All right, don't be greedy. Don't force your way into the charts. Don't force your opinions. Trade what is in front of you and use hard stops. You must use hard stops. All right, I'll be back same time tomorrow. We're going to close this week out. Shorter week this week. We're going to close it out strong. All right. Hopefully you had a fantastic day. Thank you for joining. Do me a favor. Go and watch the videos on my YouTube if you're new to here. Hopefully it will help you understand what I'm talking about. If you want to do the course, you're welcome to do so. Absolutely no pressure. I will see you same time tomorrow. Pre-market, we're going to go over everything. Peace and love.